Hey guys, it's Justin here. So I just did a video on my favorite, I keep wanting to say exclusive manufacturer. That's not the way to put it. My favorite Spyderco exclusive theme, which is Cutlery Shop. They do the CTS XHP steel DLC blade. They also do satin blades, but I'm talking about DLC in particular. And they do these bright orange handles, so it kind of gives it, on these specifically, kind of a Halloween look, which is really cool. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, right under Christmas and Easter, I would say. Being a Christian, Easter and Christmas will always come ahead of everything else. But I do like Halloween a lot, and I like this color combo a lot. So that was my last video. This one I want to talk specifically about the Cutlery Shop Native Chief, and I'm trying to close with one hand, but it's got a little quirk that I want to tell you about in a minute. So yeah, this is the Native Chief, and being in the Cutlery Shop sort of ethos or in that realm, the handle is orange G10. You can see it there, and the blade is CTS XHP, which is again kind of the Cutlery Shop thing. This one does have the DLC coating. They did make one that was satin, but I didn't want that one, just this one. It's a backlock, which if you read the material on the Native Chief that comes with the knife, even if you buy just a basic version from Spyderco, if you read it, they talk about, how they kind of improve the backlock mechanism for more durability and ease of closing, stuff like that, more smoothness, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like a backlock 2.0, I guess. This one has Spyderco's normal like spoon clip, and it's also been DLC coated as well as the backlock, which is cool. I think it's all DLC coating, as well as the screws, which are black. So just a very cool look. This one is about, I think it's 8 inches plus long, maybe 9 inches long. It's pretty long. I have the Cutlery Shop Warncliffe PM2 to sort of compare. I need to get my ZT back out that I showed as like my comparison knife, but it's in my case now, so I just haven't gotten it out. But yeah, so you can see it's a long knife. I mean, it's probably a good 3/4 of an inch longer than the PM2. And then I got the Shaman sitting here too, so I'll do a comparison to that because I know you guys are probably pretty familiar with the Shaman. So even the Shaman, it's probably a good 1/2 inch longer than that. So it's a big knife. Let me think. So the steel is, it's a really good steel. I mean, CTS XHP is very rust resistant. It holds an edge. It's not super difficult to sharpen. I don't honestly use my knives that much. I mean, I'm not like tearing edges up or, cutting a lot of cardboard, stuff like that. But, it is a good steel, and especially for me, it's going to last a long time. This does have a full flat grind like most Spydercos do. So you can see here, it doesn't have any flats toward the top of the blade. It's a straight angle from the spine down to the secondary edge there, or I guess the actual edge, I should say. This one has, I'm just kind of going over the features now. I think it doesn't have liners. I haven't actually taken a Native Chief apart. I don't think it has. Yeah, it doesn't have liners. It does have the black backspacer there. And then I believe this one rides on phosphor bronze washers. So that's kind of some of the specs for you. And then weight wise, I keep saying I need to get a scale. I will one of these days. But I would say it's around 4.5 to 5 ounces. So it's not super heavy, especially for how big of a knife it is. So yeah, I talked about the steel a little bit. I am a fan of XHP. I think it's a really good steel. And the backlock is pretty good. This one you can close with one hand, but you really, really have to depress the release here a lot to get it to actually release about there. But you can do it with one hand, as you can see there. and it's very stiff, but I'm assuming it'll probably loosen up as I carry it and kind of fidget with it more. So yeah, the back lock is nice. I mean, you can close it one-handed, you can open it one-handed, and it's plenty strong. So it's a nice lock. The clip, you know, as I mentioned, it's normal Spyderco spoon clip. It's fine. It's not super deep carry, as you can see, but it's easily swappable with a winch clip. I wish Spyderco used more deep carry clips, maybe one of these days, but they put these spoon clips on just about anything, on just about everything, really. I have carried this a couple times. It's fine. As I said, it has a decent amount that sticks out about that, but it's not bad if you're carrying jeans. And again, this Spyderco clip, even though it's not deep carry, it works just fine. So in terms of carryability, yeah, it's nice carry. I mean, it's thin enough to where if you have it in your pocket, you can still get your hand past it to get other things. It's sort of angled toward the right from this perspective, so that when it's in your pocket, you can, you know, this part of the knife is sort of away from where you're going to be getting your hand in, so that's nice. And the weight, of course, isn't too bad, as I mentioned, probably around 5 ounces, so not overly heavy, maybe a little bit heavier. Let me think. So I talked about the steel, carryability, maintenance. You know, because this is a back lock, it's always going to be a little trickier to maintain. I have disassembled Spyderco back locks, and they are indeed a little bit trickier to maintain, but not impossible. You just have to be careful when you're reassembling, because there's a lot of pressure from this spring on the blade, so you have to watch that. But the screws themselves, I think these are those might be T10s. I think these are T8s, and these are T6s, which most of their clip screws are T6s. So in terms of the hardware, it's fine. It's just you have to watch the back lock. The pivot on this was a little loose when I got it, so I don't know if the person who ended up sending it back to Jeff, I'm assuming I don't know if they had loosened this to try to make it a little bit easier to open and close, but I was able to tighten it right up. In the centering, it became pretty much perfectly centered. It favors the right, maybe just a tad, but yeah, it's centered right up. There's no blade play. So in terms of the quality, that's how I assume it would arrive from Spyderco. So quality is no concern there. Good lockup, good centering. Again, the DLC coating is really nice and consistent. The edge as well is nice and even without the sharpening choil. They got it right back to the back. The jimping's nice and even. Really no complaints at all. The G10 has these nice chamfers on it. So yeah, just really well made. And the price. So I mentioned it in my cutlery shop video, but I actually paid $145 for this, which is under retail. I think these were I'm guessing 165, maybe 170 when they were new. So I got it at a really good deal. I think even at like 170 though, this is a really good deal. Yeah, I mean, you get the excellent Spyderco Golden Colorado quality. You get a really good steel. You get all this coating on everything. You get a unique configuration with the blue, or not the blue, the orange and the black. You get the very usable pocket clip, and you also get really nice ergonomics. You can choke back and hold it here, and I can get a full 4-finger grip because the handle's so long. Or I can choke up here with this finger choil and this jimping on the back and sort of allow myself to do more like intricate work. So that's really nice that it has those two different options for holding it and using it. So yeah, the ergonomics on this, like most other Spydercos, are really, really strong. And yeah, I guess, you know, value, I think it's a really good value for what you're getting. I would pay even $200 for this. I think it's a really nice knife. And then in terms of like comparison to other things on the market, I mean, there's a lot of backlocks. In this price range, it's a little bit more difficult to find things, but like maybe a higher end buck 110 would be somewhat comparable if you got one with like S30V. You know, they don't do them in maybe like micarta maybe, but yeah, there's really not a ton of backlocks out there, at least that I can think of in this price range. So if you're looking for something that's a good size that uses the backlock mechanism, maybe a cold steel, but those would be cheaper than this typically. Like a Recon 1 or something, they'd also be wider. So yeah, it's a really good knife. If you can find one, I definitely recommend it, especially one of the exclusives. Like this one, if you find one on the secondary, or the Blade HQ exclusive. They make a Rex 45, I think it's retired now, but it comes with like a burnt orange handle, which is pretty cool. Or if you just want the basic native Chief, you know, that would be a really good knife as well. So anyway, this is the Native Chief Cutlery Shop exclusive, and that's kind of my thoughts, just a short review on it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and have a good rest of the week. We'll talk to you later. See ya.